The young ones of the predator matriarch had vanished without a trace. Panic rippled through the station the moment the absence was discovered, but the truth was far stranger than any search party could have prepared for. They were not found tearing through corridors, not clawing their way through armored doors. No, when the trackers finally located them, the cubs were lying across the chest of a single human, fast asleep. Commander Zyrakel's hands shook as the security recording played before her compound eyes. The Zephyrian apex towered, nearly 8 feet tall, her blackened carapace catching the sterile light of the control chamber, but she felt as small and powerless as a hatchling. Zephyrians were not meant to feel fear like this, and yet fear coiled deep within her. "Show me again," she rasped through the translator, her natural tones resonant enough to drive most prey to madness. The human security chief, Martinez, gray streaking through his cropped hair, wordlessly replayed the footage. He didn't flinch before her, though he knew full well what she was, the embodiment of a predator species designed by evolution to dominate. The recording revealed what had happened. The twins had slipped out during what should have been their enforced rest cycle, bypassing the security measures meant to contain them. Even at half a year old, each was the size of an earth-born panther, with claws like blades and venomous barbs lacing their spines. They were weapons given flesh, bred for instinct, for the hunt. They should have been unstoppable. Martinez narrated in a calm, steady voice, pointing out the paths they took through the ventilation shafts. The camera shifted to a new angle, revealing the moment the cubs dropped down into the human residential sector. And that was when everything turned strange. Zyrakel leaned forward, all her attention locked on the screen. She expected carnage. Any rational mind would. Zephyrian cubs didn't hesitate, didn't restrain themselves. They struck without warning, often before their own bodies had finished developing. She had seen hatchlings bring down creatures thrice their size before their first molt. But what the recording revealed made no sense. The cubs padded softly into the private chamber of Dr. Sarah Chen, the human xenobiologist who had been working late. She looked up as the first shadow fell across her doorway. Every instinct Zyrakel possessed screamed that the human should have screamed as well, triggered alarms, begged for help. Instead, the human smiled. "Hello," she said, her voice quiet, gentle. "You must be Zyrakel's little ones. Are you lost?" On the screen, the cubs froze mid-step. Zyrakel could see it in their posture, the tension, the hesitation. Predatory instincts fought against something else, something none of her kind had ever documented. Kethra, the elder, tilted her head like a curious hatchling. Morden, her brother, crept forward with steps too soft to be called stalking. Dr. Chen set her datapad aside, extending an open hand, palm upward. The gesture should have invited death. Instead, impossibility unfolded. Kethra leaned in, whiskers brushing against the human's skin. When Chen's fingers grazed the cub's ridge, a place that would normally provoke a violent lash of fangs, Kethra released a sound no Zephyrian had ever made before. She purred. "Impossible," Zyrakel breathed, her mandibles twitching in disbelief as she watched her child press against the human's touch. The footage continued. Dr. Chen coaxed them gently toward her couch. She resumed her work, casually scratching Morden's spines as the massive cub sprawled across her lap like an oversized feline. Kethra curled against her side, resting her enormous head on the human's shoulder. Within minutes, both predators slept deeply. Their barbs retracted, their breathing calm. Even adults rarely displayed such complete trust. Yet here they were, her children, the apex of their kind, slumbering like harmless infants against a fragile human form. Martinez broke the silence, his voice carrying a rare softness. They've been there for hours. Dr. Chen contacted us once, but asked we not disturb them. She said they looked tired. On the feed, Zyrakel's children slept soundly, and there was Dr. Chen, a human who weighed less than either cub, dozing as well. One arm curled protectively around Kethra, Morden's heavy tail draped over her legs like a living blanket. "I cannot comprehend this," Zyrakel whispered. "In our history, in all of our records, our young have never trusted," Martinez offered, "recognized care, known safety when they felt it." Zyrakel's eyes fixed on him, glittering and sharp. "Your species is fragile. We have studied your anatomy. You have no weapons, no armor, no poison. You are prey. How could she know they would not kill her?" Martinez regarded the peaceful image on the screen. "She has lived among your kind for 2 years, learned your tongue, studied your traditions. She speaks of you and your children with nothing but warmth. Perhaps your cubs simply sensed what she felt." He paused, then added carefully, "Perhaps they understood what we humans already know, that strength." On the monitor, Kethra stirred, nuzzling closer into the curve of Dr. Chen's neck. Even in sleep, the human's arm tightened protectively. Something shifted within Zyrakel. A quiet fracture in the certainty of her species' worldview. Perhaps humanity's greatest power was not their tools, nor their adaptability. Perhaps it was their impossible ability to look at a creature designed to end them and see, instead, a child in need of comfort. As Zyrakel made her way to collect her young, a question echoed within her. In a galaxy filled with apex predators, what did that make the humans? The answer, she realized, might be something far more dangerous and far more wondrous than any species had yet understood.